So every time I do an episode of Comics and Coffee, a lot of the questions I would get asked centered around who would win in theoretical fights between superheroes. So what I thought I would do is test the waters and try my hand at answering some of these questions. And since the Flash television series is returning this week, I wanted to feature Barry Allen, but ran into the problem of who from the Marvel Universe would be an interesting and worthy companion. In recent years, the Flash has seen a significant increase in his power level within DC Comics, so much so that a battle with his closest analog in the Marvel Universe, Quicksilver, wouldn't really be fair, as Barry would win with almost no effort. So in order to pair him with someone that could hope to match his speed and power, what I want to do in this video is figure out who would win in a battle between Barry Allen and Norrin Radd, the Silver Surfer. So in order to answer this question, we have to first look at the forces that give each of these characters their powers. With that in mind, we'll start our discussion with an explanation of the Speed Force. The Speed Force is a concept within DC Comics that was created during the lightning strike that gave Barry Allen his super speed. As it was established by Geoff Johns in 2009's The Flash Rebirth, when Barry runs, he generates the Speed Force, and it's expanded to exist throughout the DC multiverse as a kinetic wall of positively charged energy. All of the speedsters within the DC universe can access the Speed Force, and when one of them dies, they merge with it as a kind of afterlife. To this end, all of the powers and abilities of the speedsters are derived from the Speed Force itself. The primary and most obvious of these powers is superhuman speed, which also includes superhuman reflexes, agility, cognition, stamina, and healing. Now, Barry Allen's super speed is well documented in comics, as he's performed several feats that indicate that his speed is practically limitless. As an example of just how fast he is, during the Final Crisis event, it was established that while we as the reader had believed Barry Allen to have been killed during Crisis on Infinite Earths, in truth, during the 24-year window between that story and the events of Final Crisis, Barry had actually been outrunning death. It's also been repeatedly established that Barry can travel much faster than the speed of light, and has even been able to run so fast that he can manipulate the space-time continuity, most famously done during the Flashpoint event when he ran into the past and prevented his mother from dying. And so in addition to almost limitless speed, Barry is afforded several other powers by the Speed Force, including the ability to vibrate himself at such a high frequency that he's able to phase through solid objects and even the barriers between dimensions. Barry can also produce cyclones by rotating his arms and can generate enough electricity to throw lightning arcs at his enemies, and Barry's durability is also increased due to an aura of kinetic energy that surrounds him. Another notable ability possessed by the Flash is the Infinite Mass Punch. The Infinite Mass Punch is possible when the Flash is running at a speed close to the speed of light, which causes him to gain mass relative to that speed and allows him to deliver a devastating punch. Now, as to the actual force of the punch, it was described by writer Grant Morrison as being equivalent to the power of a white dwarf star. And although this description applied to Wally West's punch, it stands to reason that we can apply the same logic to Barry Allen as well, since they're both able to access the Speed Force. Now, having said that, I want to turn our attention to the source of the Silver Surfer's powers, the Power Cosmic. The Power Cosmic is a force within the Marvel Universe that seemingly originates with Galactus, who's able to bestow the power on individuals that he chooses to serve as his heralds. If you want to learn more about the Power Cosmic, you can feel free to check out my video from earlier this month where I give a full explanation of it. But while he was in the service of Galactus, Norrin Radd, the Silver Surfer, came to be in possession of the Power Cosmic. Now, as far as to what the power is capable of, the list is seemingly endless, but it includes superhuman speed, strength, stamina, and durability. Individuals imbued with the Power Cosmic can also gain the ability to manipulate matter itself. To this end, the Silver Surfer has been able to create entire cities and even atmospheres, and can also use this ability offensively, as he's been known to reduce his opponents to atoms. Furthermore, the Silver Surfer is able to use the Power Cosmic to create immensely powerful energy blasts, and has used them to destroy enemies, starships, and even planets. He can also manipulate energy to teleport across galaxies and can convert objects into pure energy. In addition to this, the Silver Surfer has demonstrated an ability to manipulate gravity to the point of affecting the orbits of planets. Now, much like the Flash, the Silver Surfer is able to travel at unheard of speeds. In one instance, he's traveled a distance of 500,000 light years, a distance nearly 5 times as long as a Milky Way galaxy in a matter of seconds, meaning that much like Barry Allen, he can travel at a speed much faster than the speed of light. At the same time, the Silver Surfer has repeatedly demonstrated super speed, having shattered walls made of the nearly indestructible metal vibranium and breaking apart a planet made of asteroids that he was trapped inside. Now, with all that being said, the question becomes this: who would win in a fight? Well, to answer this question, we have to lay some ground rules. Under normal circumstances, the Flash has to have friction in order to run. So if the battle occurred in space, the Flash would be automatically outclassed, as there'd be no surface for him to run on. So for the purpose of this battle, both combatants will be placed on the Earth so that Flash can take advantage of the planet's gravitational pull and the friction that the planet's surface will provide. Adding this stipulation will also make things more interesting, as it negates the Silver Surfer's ability to destroy planets, as the Surfer has been shown on multiple occasions to have an affinity for Earth and would therefore not resort to destroying the planet just to win a battle. Still, even with those caveats in place, the Silver Surfer has a clear advantage in terms of pure power. The Flash has proven to be extremely powerful with his arsenal of arc lightning and especially the Infinite Mass Punch. However, even if he hit the Silver Surfer with the Infinite Mass Punch, which would unleash the power of a white dwarf star on the Silver Surfer, the Surfer would undoubtedly be able to survive it, as he's flown through a red dwarf star at a speed faster than light without any ill effects. In contrast, the Silver Surfer would be able to harness the power cosmic to such an extent that he could atomize the Flash if he so choose, or in the alternative, hit him with energy blasts with enough power to destroy a planet. On the other side of the coin, however, the Flash's arguable advantage in this contest is his speed. Now, it's almost impossible to definitively state which one of these characters is faster traveling at top speeds, but I'm willing to say the Flash has the advantage here. And what I'm basing this conclusion on is the fact that the Flash has actually moved fast enough to travel backward and forward in time. And while it's true that the Silver Surfer is able to time travel as well, this seems to be something that is simply inherent to the power cosmic itself, instead of a product of the super speed that it supplies. Furthermore, we've seen in the recent Flash comic book series that speedsters can increase their speed by taking on the speed of other speedsters. So if the Flash is able to convince other speedsters to give up their speed, which has happened recently, he may be able to push even further ahead of the Surfer. And so even though the Flash comes to have the edge in speed, this is a battle, and it's not a race. And even if the Flash can outrun the Surfer initially, he would eventually have to engage the Surfer. And even if he was able to travel fast enough to evade the Surfer's attacks, while the Speed Force does supply Barry with ample energy, unlike the Surfer, Barry still needs to consume food to maintain his body's metabolism, meaning that without complex carbs, proteins, and fats, he would eventually be overcome with fatigue and be forced to recover. At that point, I think it comes down to the question of whose attack power, durability, and healing are more advanced. In the most recent issue of The Flash, we saw Barry Allen having to take time to recover after battling the villain Godspeed. In contrast, the Silver Surfer seems to be virtually indestructible, with his healing virtually instantaneous. So while the Flash would be able to use his speed to outrun the Silver Surfer initially and keep things interesting, I think that in the end, the Silver Surfer's significant advantage in power will allow him to win the battle. But with that being said, if you could take any speedster, regardless of who they are, and put them against the Silver Surfer, who would you pick? I'm kind of curious. And if you guys are interested in more videos like this, make sure you hit the like and sub button, and make sure you post down below which characters you think I should have face off against one another. Keep in mind, we're strictly keeping our contents limited to comic books. But with that being said, I will catch you guys later. Peace.